there with her. Oh, I was there around, but most of the time I was so locked and loaded that I have to be honest and tell you that when Mama died, I didn't even know where they buried her because at the funeral I was high as I don't know what. So it wasn't until I got clean that my sister got a bus and took me back up to the grave where Mama was buried at. But losing Mama to lupus and now my sister is suffering from lupus, that's a real one of those things that will really throw you off, especially if you're in the height of your addiction, because you don't know if you're coming or going. So I wasn't the daughter that I thought I was. See, when we're addicted to something, you really have this idea that you're doing all these grand things, but you're really not. I thought I was the best daughter going just because the big-time dope dealer that I was with was buying me coats and laying them across her, and I would take money by there and spread over and all that. That wasn't doing anything. I thought I was. And so that did not help my disease because my mind would kill me at any moment because I felt guilt and shame. And so that didn't help the situation at all.
And what do you say to people that might get caught up in that whole culture? Because like I said, part of what you were doing was getting caught up in that culture. I know a lot of people that are into the entertainment world also find themselves caught up in that culture because they think that this is the only way that they can be a success is by getting caught up in these things that are not going to be beneficial to them because they see the glamour. I mean, that's even what we see with our kids and everything. They see the glamour of the drug dealer. They don't necessarily see the fact that it could lead you to serving time in prison and definitely doing other things. They don't see that part of the aspect. They just see the glamour part of it. So when you have people that are coming in, and I imagine you have people in your gym that are of all ages, what do you tell them, particularly the young ones that might be getting caught up? Because I know Houston has got a very serious problem with some crime elements there, from what I understand. I've got friends that live there and know the Houston area. Even though I'm from North Carolina, I've got friends from all over the country, and I do know that that is an area that's got a very well, it's actually got almost like a dual nature to it, because on the one side you've got people like the Bushes and everything that came out of Houston and out of the oil industry, but you've also got a very active inner city in Houston. So when you talk to people that are coming from these different lifestyles, what do you tell them about to encourage them away from what they may see as the glamour part of that lifestyle?
Well, the first thing I do is I stay transparent so that I can tell you the truth. Because as long as I'm okay with who I am, I don't care what you ask me. I'm going to tell you the truth. And one of the things I always tell the kids is don't believe the hype. Because when you once up, you can always come down. And anything fast, just like weight loss, if you're doing something really fast, it's going to come back fast. And so if you're running a fast life, then it's going to run out. And when it runs out, it's going to run out real fast. Oh, it looks real good, like I tell them all the time, the diamonds and I used to go to all the pro fights and hung out with all these people because that's the crowd that I was in. But I always tell them to take me as an example. Look where I am now. I had to go to my lowest of the low. I had to go to a point where when I got high, I smelled fire. And I would pour water on all my clothes in my house. See, I always tell them, don't be like me, be better than me. And a good prime example is I have a son right now that's struggling. And in his mind, weed is no big deal. And he thinks that that's okay. But anytime you're smoking or doing anything that makes your life unmanageable, and that's what I show him. If it's food or it's the weed or it's the cocaine or if he's smoking or if he's puffing, whatever they're doing today, if your life is unmanageable, this is not working for you, baby. So I need you to try something different. And that's what I say. Is this really working for you? Are you broke? Can you go to work? All those things. And so, I stay transparent and I tell them the truth.
Yeah, and that's what we need more of, is more people telling the truth and things of that nature. Now, among the people that you've dealt with, and even among your own stories and the people that you've dealt with in the gym, what has been like a most surprising addiction that when you found out that the person was addicted to this, it actually surprised you? Because I imagine that you probably had people that are addicted to everything from power to, like we said, sweets, candy, and things of that nature. But as you have dealt with different people of all ages and the different ways that they're fighting their addiction, what is an addiction that just like you sat there and you had to like even analyze some of your own thoughts about addiction because you never thought of this as being an actual addictive behavior. So I imagine that there's some things that you've seen that actually even surprised you, even though you've gone through a very rich life and have done a lot of great things. But what are some of these things that totally shocked you, that if somebody told you at a young age that this is something that you might encounter would have shocked you?
You know, you'll be real amazed. One of the things that amazes me is that people are addicted to people. they're addicted to people and that they should not be around. Let's just take a woman that's being abused. She might not want to be there, but they get addicted to the behavior. And that, for me, coming from the background where I come from, because, when you're slinging and doing the kind of things that we were doing, I was raised that don't let anybody get up under your skin like that. But besides being addicted to people and to bad situations, food is an amazing addiction, because you got to remember this. You have to eat to live. You got to eat to live. So you got people addicted to food, and they get so addicted to it that it holds them in bondage that they can't come out of the house. It ain't that people want to be overweight, and I use that because you have to eat. Oh, yeah, we got addicted to cocaine, and we get smoking cigarettes. And I know one girl that was addicted to eating bags and bags of candy, just bags and bags of candy. Then, of course, you got your gambling, and the ultimate one is shopping. Broke as can be, but they're going to shop every week because they need to look like they belong somewhere. That addicted to the needing to be in the in crowd. What's the in crowd today? Can you clarify to me what the in crowd is? Because everybody's trying to be somebody that they're not. I'll be 57 years old, and it amazes me at a certain age they're still trying to be or do some things that's not conducive to who they should be. So when we start talking about addiction.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because a couple of things that crossed my mind when you brought that up is, I'll acknowledge, and I'm doing a better job this year, and I'm hoping that it will continue. But, sometimes when you're in that ripping and running kind of lifestyle, because I know I'm busy with, various jobs that I have, because I have more than one job, and ripping and running. So a lot of times you wind up going to fast food. I know that I should definitely be eating more healthy, should be making more runs to the grocery store. But, it's an addiction to go to fast food, and I know that that's an addiction, because you have this addiction to go into McDonald's, Subway. I mean, sometimes you might go to the one that is supposedly more healthy than the other one, but you're right, it's still a form of an addiction, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, because you feel that that's what you have to do in order to survive, because like you said, food is a very important thing.
But that's what your mind tells you. Your mind will tell you that. Your mind will say, I don't have time, so I'm going to run in here. But you got to remember this. When I run in McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, there's still an opportunity for you to make a healthier choice.
Right.
See, that's where the disease part comes in. Do I make a healthier choice, or I'm just going to do this?
Yeah, that's very true.
And that's when the disease comes in at.
Yeah, you're right. Oftentimes people don't think about that. And you're also right about the public image that people have and everything, and how that can different wave on people. Because I know that there's a very popular lawyers' ball here that people go to all the time. And I remember, I'm not that far off from you in age. I'm actually 56, and I'll be 57 in July. But I do remember that at the early time of going to those balls and everything, you would see people that would be coming to these lawyers' events. I'm sure the doctors have one, and all the big professional organizations have them. I know this because I know a couple of people that do event planning. I believe there's one lady named Evangeline White that's out of Houston, if I remember correctly. But I know that a lot of times people will do these events, but a lot of times you'll see multiple generations going there, and you're sitting there going wait a minute. I understand, to some degree, I understand the 20 to the 30-year-old trying to pick up the lawyer, man or woman. I understand that to some degree and everything. I don't quite buy into it. That's not my game and everything, but I get where people would get into that mindset. But then you got people that are going in 3 generations deep. I remember 15 or 20 years ago going to one of the lawyers' balls and seeing daughter, mama, and grandmama all on the same mission. Exactly.
And when I hear that, what comes to my mind is that if I break that cycle, what will happen?
Right.
Am I afraid to break the cycle? And that's a form of addiction because you're afraid to break the cycle, good or bad cycle, because you don't know what's going to come behind it. I may not want to go to the ball, but because the generations have done it, then I'm going to follow suit. I'm addicted to the behavior. When do I decide to make a choice on my own? When do you make that decision? And so when you start talking about addictions, they come, and they are very, and I'm going to say this again, cunning and baffling, because you don't know you are addicted because you've done this so long. I can use myself, for example. I was a snorter. I can remember saying to myself, this is a problem. I can remember saying that to myself. But you got some people who won't even acknowledge it, that that's a problem. And so when you start talking about the word of recovery, there's a difference in recovering and abstaining. See, I work with 12 Steps in Narcotics Anonymous, and I work a 12-step program. These people over here are just having used, they're abstaining. So that at any given moment, they don't have the tools that's going to keep them clean. You need proper tools on a daily basis that you use to keep you from relapsing.
And just as one who's been through that program, how successful do you think those kind of programs are? Like I said, one of the jobs I work at is at a cultural arts center, and we have NA that meets there every week. And for the most part, it looks like a lot of these people are doing well, and they're on the road to recovery. Some have been clean for anywhere from 20 to 30, maybe even 35 years, if not longer. But I was just wondering, as one who's been through the program, of the different kind of programs, what is your view of these kind of programs? Do you think that they're successful? Do you think that they actually work well? And also, or do you think that there needs to be other things involved? I also know that you're very much religious.
I can stop you right there. I am a 12-step baby. I am a 12-step Narcotics Anonymous baby. If I could go to an NA meeting every day, all day, I would, even with 25, 26, coming up on 26 years clean. Because what happens is my family don't know me. They love me. They will love me to death, but they've never used. I need to go around people that are like me, that have situations like me, that think like I do. See, if you've never done hard dope like I've done, you can't help me. So I work 12 steps, and for me, it is the best thing because it keeps me grounded. It keeps me humble. It teaches me how to take it one day at a time, 1 second at a time. It tells me to keep the focus on me and not you. And when I go to my meetings, I could go in there. If I need to throw 5-letter, 4-letter words around, nobody's going to look at me any different. But if I go in the church house to a meeting, they're going to think I lost my mind. Right? Although I go to church, and I love my church, and my whole church knows I'm a recovering person. But they can't get with me when I need to get real down and dirty and talk about how angry I am and how I don't want to cope no more. And then I say that, dust myself out, and walk out the door, and I'm good.
Well, that actually brings up another interesting question I'm just kind of curious about, which is that we all know that there's NA and that there's Alcoholics Anonymous. There are other addiction programs as well, but those are the ones that everybody knows. Now, we've already established that people in general have various kinds of addictions. So when you run into people that have these other kinds of addictions that don't necessarily have a program for them, like I don't know that there's a Candy's Anonymous. I mean, there may be, but I don't know that there's a Candy's Anonymous. So if you run into people that are addicted to these programs or addicted to these things that don't necessarily have the program that's in step or that's in tune with the 12-step program, what kind of advice do you give them so they can fight their addiction? Because, like I said, I know that, of course, there's the ones that everybody knows, which is NA and AA, and there's others. I know that there's a couple of other ones, like I think there's a Sexual Addiction Anonymous and everything, but I don't know how often they meet. Don't know that as many people know even where to find them.
You would be so amazed. They have Overeaters Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, Gambling Anonymous. They have so many anonymous programs out there, you would be amazed. But however, for a person that rolls up on me and tells me I got this issue, first thing I do is come go to a meeting with me and just sit down and listen. Because anytime you're struggling with any disease, you can replace drugs, the word drug, with whatever you're going through. See, I could give you my NA book right now, and wherever it says drugs, you put candy. You know what I'm saying? So there's always something that you can do. I invite women to go with me to women's meetings at my NA organization. If you're struggling with divorce, if you're struggling with anger, all those things, I encourage you, come go to a meeting. Find a meeting in your area. They're not going to make you talk. Just go sit in the back of the room and see how we have freedom in that room to discuss whatever's going on with us. See, I call you guys people that have never done hard dope. I call you guys normal people. Y'all are too normal for me. I can remember being at home on any vacation, any given time, and I'm in the house with all my sisters and my family, and my one sister can look me in my face and say, you need to leave and go to a meeting, because I see you about to go there. Because y'all so normal and some of the stuff that's going on, I'd be like, what in the world? You know? And my sister go, you need to go to a meeting. You need to go to a meeting.
Well, see, that's,
you know, so
you talk about normalcy, and I don't even know that normalcy is actually a correct word for people and everything. Because one of the things I've even said it on this show before, and I've definitely said it to friends of mine and everything, is that I don't really know that many people that are truly sane. Like I said, whether it's
right.
whether it's work addictions, whether it's